well. This is chocolate, dark chocolate. We use the Vice 64, super good. This one is praline. We use the gelatic praline paste, it's super good, and then the little praline grains on top. That's also really nice. This one is strawberry, vanilla, and then this one is used with the dulce de leche, right? Everybody loves dulce de leche? You don't love dulce de leche, I'm sorry for you. And then this over here is mango right here. And so I discovered something today, and I think I want to share this with you guys. It looks like it's caramel, but I actually made it with isomalt. And for two reasons. The first thing is, as I was making it with caramel, caramel is like, you gotta be like quick, right? You gotta do it right there and then. So when you're building it, you don't have to waste time. You gotta do it right there, right there. And if your caramel passes and you put it back on the stove, it gets darker, right? But isomalt doesn't really do that. Isomalt kind of stays the course. Now obviously it doesn't taste the same, right? This one is just for display. But it holds really well, and I think for holding it together, the isomalt is a really good solution. So you dip it into the caramel for flavor purposes, but for holding it together, the isomalt is great. Plus in Florida, with the humidity, these are dangerous to make because they fall. My first one kind of fell. We had to rush back to the bakery. We had to rebuild it. It was a story. My dad wasn't really happy. But we made it, right? Yeah. Anyway, but this is like, the way that this is built is you make your pâte à choux, right? You make your choux, and you don't want to make your choux too big. Because if you make your choux too big and you fill them up, all of the filling inside is going to get the whole thing soft and it's going to collapse again. So there's a couple of tips that are super important. One of the first tips is you got to sort of over bake your pâte à choux. Like if you're like, oh, it's baked, no, bake it 5 more minutes, right? Make sure it's baked to the point where it's almost kind of dry. Don't worry, because the filling inside, the caramel, is going to make it moist, and actually you're going to get that nice crunchiness around it. And by the time you put it in your mouth, it's crunchy on the outside and it's soft and moist in the middle, just the way we like it. So I think that's definitely a plus. Don't make them too big either, because then you're going to have a huge tower and it's just going to go. And for traveling purposes, it's really annoying as well. This one's really light because it's empty. It doesn't have any pastry cream. But if it has pastry cream, this would be well over 5, 6, 7 pounds maybe, and it's heavy. And if you add decorations and things like that on top of that, it's going to be super heavy. So you just got to be careful with this type of thing. Anybody familiar with croquembouche?
Oui.
Anybody ever made a croquembouche? Right. Good. So I have here some isomalt, but it looked kind of like caramel because it's been, I basically very, very, very slowly caramelized it this morning. Oh yeah, that would be fantastic. Look at this. This is my best friend.
I'm this bodyguard. Suit up. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Serenading me for a second. Little cruiser. Yeah. Hello. 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 Hi. Hey. Hi. Can you guys hear me? So we're gonna go like this. It's gonna be good. All right. So, are we ready? All right. Hi, everybody. All right. Radio Food Show. Woo! It's like a family reunion every year, right? I know you. I know you. I know you. You know me. I know you. You know me. You know me? Yeah, I know you too. It's awesome. I love it. Okay, so we talked a little bit about croquembouche. Now we know where it comes from. We know what it is. I absolutely love doing this show and absolutely love working with Radio Food ingredients, because they're like good quality ingredients, And we were talking with Brett, and we're like, oh, what are we going to do this year? And it's carnival. What do you have that's colorful? We talk about the sprinkles, and we decided, well, why can't we do with sprinkles, right? It's like you can only do some sprinkles. Right? No. But actually, I think this is a really good idea. Do you agree? Yeah.
I think this is a cool and clever idea to use your sprinkles.
Plus, you know, it's great on buffets. It looks awesome. These little mountains like that, the little towers, they really don't take that long to make if you do them in production. This all together is 900 shoe, right? It's about a sheep cart full of shoe. That's it, right? That doesn't take that long to make. You can make them in molds if you want them to be perfect. As you can see, there's like some of them are a little like this, a little like that. I don't use a mold. I do everything by hand. For me, it's faster. But you can use a mold. You can certainly put it onto a cone as well. So I'm just going to show you basically the basics on how to build the base and how to build it up, right? So I have some shoes over here that I make. Once again, I mentioned that they're hard, you know, they're crunchy, and if you put the filling inside, that filling slowly, by the time it gets to the event, and by the time people are going to eat it, it's going to be moist and crunchy on the outside. And trust me, that's the way to do it, right? You can even bake them and cover them with a rack, but leave them overnight outside, you know. By the next day, they're going to have that real good crunch that's going to allow you to build this and for this to be sturdy, right? Some people are like, what is you doing? Look at this. Okay, so also I used to use this. And I used to go like this, and I used to put them inside, and I'll be like, with the one with the little teeth, right? You know these? Right from the bar, you go to the bar, you go, hey, hand me your, no, it's mine, right, come on, lend to me, I need to make a work on wood, right? And so, you know, but actually this is very time consuming, and this bartender, he didn't have that, but he had this, right? So, you just poke a hole, you put your caramel, and that's it. And then you just repeat that process. You can use a paring knife. I think paring knife's probably easier. You didn't have a paring knife, that's all you had. But basically, that's pretty much all you gotta do. Just dip it in there, and then leave it out. These are the same, and all of these are just like that, but I put a sheet pan full of the sugar, and from the caramel, I dip it into the sugar. By the time it sets, you turn it over and you got the sugar around, right? That's as simple as that. The chocolate one's a little bit more tricky because of the caramel and the whole chocolate. And this is tempered chocolate. I try to use coating chocolate. It's really messy. If you have and you do and it works for you, please send me a text. Let me know how you did it. I'm always here for new croquembouche techniques. But basically, so we just keep going with this. And we just keep going for it. You don't want to put too much caramel on it because I'm going to show you one of the rookie mistakes is we dip it all the way in. We're like, oh, I want a lot of caramel, but actually when you're going to eat it, it's going to be full of caramel. It's going to be really hard to eat. It's going to break your teeth. So if you dip it, you don't want to go really over that edge right here. If you go further, it's going to hold really well. But it's also going to be really difficult to break apart. Because to break this apart on a buffet, you need a pair of scissors and you need somebody behind it going, I'm going to help you do it. Right? So, up, back, and we keep going like this. Another thing is, when you're doing the caramel, depending on what type of caramel you're using, it's going to hold more or less. Like if your caramel is really dark, it's going to absorb humidity really quick, and it's not going to hold really a lot. So when you're doing it with your caramel, you want to make sure that your caramel is really light golden when you take it out, because it's going to keep cooking anyway, right? You're going to dip it into the water. Don't dip it for too long, because then you're going to be like, oh, I got to rewarm it again, you know? Just like, kind of give it a quick bath. Oh, that's it, right? As soon as it's done doing, don't leave it in there, because then it gets cold on the bottom. And then that's it. But the isomalt is really like fantastic. Plus, you know, it's good for people that have diabetes because it has really low insulin absorption. It is a disaccharide. Tack. Anybody know how many shoe there is in there? Come on, give me a guess. 200. 100? Come on, girl. 150. 300. Who says more? 230. Let me go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 on the first line. So kind of like you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and it's about a shoe less every stairs basically. So, mathematicians are in here? Come on, don't leave me hanging. I want a number. Come on, you take it home if you give me the right number.
120.
I don't know the right number. You're going to have to count it yourself. But. Somebody wants to count it? So if you want the recipes for all the creams that I put in here, just call Raider Foods. We have all my recipes. Just let them, hey, I was at the event. Chef Armand told me you got the recipes for all the creams that were inside the shoe. And Raider Food will be super happy to give them to you. Okay? Another thing is the recipe for the pata shoe. If you want it, you gotta call me. But that's okay. I'll give it to you. Also, if you want to learn how to do this and you don't know it and you want some tips, feel free to call me. I'll be very happy to help you out with that. Okay. So pretty much right now what we have is we have two different types of shoe, right? We have these over here. This sets really quick. And we have these. Depending on how you want your shoe to start, you can start with these or you can start with that. Or if you want, you can do just all one color. I like the barrier with the white because it actually makes you see more of the actual color. Right? The white kind of like breaks it and you're like, oh, look at this, it's caramel. If it was all caramel, you'd be like, yeah, obviously it's caramel. But there's like no contrast, right? So I really like that white line, so it kind of gives that contrast. And friends, we use this a lot for weddings, for baby showers, and because they're little balls, you can pretty much do whatever you want with it. Imagine, you do like a little tree and you put them on a styrofoam ball, and now you can make like a little green tree. That would be really cool. I use it also to make things that look like the carriage for the babies. Does that look like a carriage for the babies? For baby showers and things of that nature. Okay, we're going to start with this as the line. And what we're going to do is you're just going to dip the bottom up. I stop my drop. I put it down, and when I put it down, I want to give a slight pressure, right? And I'm not going to put it super vertical like this. I'm going to give it a slight little edge, like very little, but it depends on the height of your croquembouche, right? So if your croquembouche is going to be super high, the height is going to be less. If it's going to be a tiny croquembouche, you're going to be a little bit more, right? But not too much. And then the next one, we're going to go like this. We're going to touch the side, and then we're going to go down. And then we're going to glue them together. And don't be afraid to press them slightly together. Don't press too much because then all the woozy things are going to go out of it, right? Up. Boom. We're going to go merry-go-around. There we go. And then you can adjust it. Before you get hard, you have to adjust it. Because if you don't, and you don't have the right size, what's going to end up happening is by the time you get here, oh, I'm missing a shoe. No, you need to adjust it. So adjust it. And then, don't be afraid to put your hands around it. A little bit more difficult than chocolate, but you have to put some plastic film. Just put some plastic film and then you can press it like this. Now I got my circle. I'm going to build a second floor, right? Or the second stair. Later. Sorry. Talking cakes, so later. All right. You want to go in between, right? So we're going to go in between. When you start, you're going to go in between. And you're thinking, yeah, you're just going to go in between and everything's going to be dandy, it's going to work, it's going to be wonderful, you're going to go all around, and then the last one doesn't fit. That's because, you didn't use a mold, so all your shoes are not exactly perfect. Up, I keep going with the caramel where I do the one side and then I put it down. Boom. And then here, up, I'm adjusting. This is very, very useful for croquembouche, okay? You don't use it on the outside because you'll damage the caramel, but you can use it in the inside. You can go like this. And basically, all that you want to aim directly at the shoe or the caramel,
but it's gonna cool down the center, and so by the time you build the next layers, it's gonna be set. Another thing you can do is you can walk away from the program, just walk away. Just look at it and be like, okay, I'm gonna give you a minute, I'm gonna go do something, I'll be right back, don't move away, right? And when you do this, the base sets so you can keep on building. If you're gonna do a really big croquembouche, it's super important. 3-4 layers max, walk away, go do something else, go mix up pastry cream, go yell at somebody that didn't do the dishes properly, come back, and then do another 3 layers. Okay, do another 4 layers. Don't do all at once, it will collapse. And walk home. And then you're gonna be like, it's not going. That's a mess, right? Notice how I did just that right now, right? And what did this, now it's sturdy, so I can keep on going. I have a little room to play, but not too much where it folds. Up, and we just keep on going. I'm not gonna finish because it gets really boring. It's the same thing over and over again. I'm gonna go to the next thing. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, let's go.
Everybody's like, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put these over here. My trusty silk pad. Can you tell I use it a lot?
Yeah, it's the weird.
It's like a half a silk pad. It's like, where's the other half? Okay. I'm gonna put a little bit of the iso malt on top of the silk pad. Actually, there's a little piece of sugar here. Alright. I'll get to 310 Fahrenheit. It's supposed to be 320. I could get to 310 Fahrenheit. You can cook it to 320 if you want, but if you cook it to 310, you'll thank me later. Okay, and the reason being is because you can manipulate it better. Okay, especially for doing this, it doesn't need to be like super hot, and it's gonna be just perfect for you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make that little disc that goes here, and then in French we do 3 little S's that join together. I mix a little piece that's about this, so we're gonna try and make that. No guarantees. Over here. Hot. But it's okay. Not too hot. Alright? So you gather the caramel from the edges where it gets cold and you put it back in. And by doing that, you make sure the caramel basically keeps the same temperature all around until you're able to put it together. You can also just go like this. Oh, that's so much faster. Man, like these little things, like so old school. Just go like this. So I'm gonna incorporate a little bit of air in it, but I'm not gonna make it super satin. And the reason is because usually when I make these, I make a lot of them, and when I make it satin, the sugar gets hard faster, and I don't have time for it. So I make it like half satin, and it works just fine. And everybody's like, oh, why? It doesn't want to do the whole thing. Okay. Once you can actually grab it, once it's cold enough that you can grab it, you're gonna start incorporating some air inside. It's still a little hot. There we go. Now I'm incorporating air. It's cooling down the sugar, and it's making it nice and satin. But he said he was not going to put too much air inside. Yeah, like this caramel right here, I don't know who put the thermometer in there, but I can feel it. It didn't get to 310, right? So it's like,
They gotta work.
I gotta work it. That's fine. I'll show you how to satin sugar.
By the way, this works just the same with sugar. And normally this is made with sugar, not isomalt, okay? But isomalt works just fine for this. You don't need that part, by the way. You need this part, right? Okay, now it's getting where it's starting to get colder and harder. I also love to put ribbons around this. Ribbons? And the way I usually do it is I like to start from the bottom and put the ribbon around all the way to the top. It looks really pretty. There's a bunch of them on my Instagram if you want to check it out. Alright, I have plenty of air for this guy. Then when it's like this, I'm gonna grab a little bowl and take all of the dough and kind of like fold it onto itself. If you have a cookie cutter that's just the size of this, you put it right there, and as you press this down, you put your cookie cutter with a little bit of oil on the side, you put it inside and you press it in, so it's exactly the size of your cookie cutter, but somehow I know how to make a circle. I don't use cookie cutter. There you go. So this will go right here. I can't put it right now because it's just gonna fall. I'm just gonna let it set a little bit. Okay? And then for the decoration, it goes on top. My dad taught me how to make this. I love my dad. If you don't know my dad, you know my dad. He's super cool. Tack. Okay. So we're gonna take that little thing over here. I'm gonna roll it. I'm gonna pull it. And then we're gonna turn the one side in. And then the other side. This is a really tiny tube. I'll make this bigger. Look at this thing, right? I'll do a big one, right? Let's do a big one. Everything okay so far? Yeah. All right. Woo. Yeah. I like this one. It's going to be much bigger, much nicer. I got to keep some of that caramel because I need to make two more, right? Chef, what do you think? Now what I told you about the satin, you satin it too much and it gets harder? This is what's happening for me. It's getting harder on me. It's okay. We're going to manage.
Hotter blood. Blow on it.
Alright. We're going to do the same thing over here. Up. Turn this guy over here. And we're going to turn this guy over here.
Oh, he was right there. He even had a thing.
Okay?
That is Tobias, but
Anybody has a sugar lamp? You didn't bring a sugar lamp? Could use a sugar lamp right now. Alright. So if this happens, that means you put too much saccharin in there, and you need to start again. Right, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of that, but not too much this time. So I can make enough to do another one. This is basically gonna go right here. Woo.
Oh, you're still working it.
No, I made another one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because remember what I said about not putting too much air in it?
I remember that.
And you remember how I didn't listen to myself?
I was trying to send you a message, but you weren't paying attention.
No.
I was giving you the eye.
Listen, my phone is on vibrator.
No, I was using my eye.
I'm just gonna take this guy, I'm gonna divide it in two, and we're gonna pull it a day, right? That more looks nice. You guys have any questions? Say that again? How's the caramel? It's just isomalt and water. But if you were going to do, no need, because on the isomalt you don't need to put glucose. But if you were going to do a regular one, you need to put glucose. Yeah. I usually put about 25% glucose. Get more volume for sure. I know the water, you can use a recipe. I do it by eye. You just don't want to put too much water, because the more water you put, the more time it's going to take to cook. You can actually do it dry if you want. You start with just the glucose on the bottom, the sugar on top. Just let the glucose get warm, the sugar falls inside of it. It's faster, but you have to keep an eye on it.
Do people add flavor to isomalt ever?
Say that again?
Can you add flavor, or do people add flavor to isomalt?
That's a very good question. I'll ask the chef. He didn't come today. He sent me instead. I don't know. That's a good question. I think so, yeah. I don't see why not. Ah, thank you. Glove change. Glove change? Is it time? Yeah, because look, little pieces of glove on the sugar. That's not good.
It's a sugar sensitive.
Want to do it? It's not going to work, guys. Sorry, I apologize.
Is it overworking?
No, because I'm taking too much time.
Oh, okay.
They know. They're like, he's taking too much time. Not gonna work. Anybody sweat from their hands? That's what happened when it was done. Yes, the gentleman in the back, yes. What? The patachou, the sugar, the pastry cream.
Do some beatbox while you're doing it.
You asked
I knew you were good at it.
Yeah. I think I should stick to pastries.
Man of many talents. Armand.
You know, by the way, me and Brett, we started a new line of, what was it called? A new line of, what was it called? What?
We have a lot of ideas.
Yeah. All right. So you want to try to make them as look as much possible the same. This one's like, I'm so much better than you two. I know he's gonna put me in the front. The other two are like, oh, I barely made it. Look at this. Okay, this is good. This is hard. This is not bending anymore. This is good. This guy is like, you're letting me so cold, buddy. I'm hot already. Okay. My trusty, can you tell? Can you tell I use this a lot? Right. So if the little screw falls and your chef de partie says, oh chef, it's not working, you need to buy me a new one. Say no, just go in the toolbox and grab me a screw. Right? And just put a screw in. Well, everything's okay. Don't worry, it's not gonna explode. So here you wanna, when you're gluing isomalt sugar together, you want to make sure both sides are hot or warm, but not too much because then it takes forever to dry. Then you want to sort of like set it. Not set it and forget it, right? Just set it. I didn't say forget it. Okay, and then up. You go like this over here a little bit. Not too much. Up. And then, come on you. All right. Then you want to adjust it, right? You want to make sure it's adjusted. It's good. So you don't want to use this here because you're going to crack the sugar. But from far away, it's okay. Nobody knows. Nobody sees. Okay. And then from this point, put a little bit of heat on the base. A little bit of heat here. Put it over here. This should be holding. A little bit of heat over here. A little bit on the caramel. And you put this one on top. And then you just go put the next one in the front.
Bravo, bravo. Armand.
Wait.
You know what? I've known you for a long time.
Yes.
And you have supported Raider Foods for many, many years. And, you know, on our behalf, it's really our pleasure that you're part of our family. You're just a great man with great knowledge. And it's really a pleasure to have you be part of this. Everybody, let's give a round of applause to our man Armand Berger. Monsieur fucking Bouche! Yes. We would like to honor you as a Raider ambassador. Thank you, Armand.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Wow.
Well, everybody, the party's just getting started. If you haven't been to the tables, please visit each and every one of them, as all of them really are gourmet, unique products to step up and elevate your pastry program. And please come and talk to us. We'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
These are all lovely for everybody to taste and everything.
Yes. And I have more, so just finish the whole thing. Okay, don't worry about it.
Thank you, Armand, for doing this for us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for Emmy's Pastry, our artisan bakery in Miami Gardens.
Yeah, we have a bakery. Woohoo!
Has wonderful things.
Thank you very much.
And it's really close to our office, so whenever you need something, you can go over there and get some for home.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we
Enjoy,
are
guys. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening to all my weirdness.
Yes, applause.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.